Welcome back to another episode of Amazing Kitchen. So today I'll be showing you how to make a tomato soup. And yes, it's very simple and very easy and refreshing to have. And then at the end, after the recipe, I'll be talking about there are two good reasons to make this soup. There are health benefits, and then there's a taste factor that makes this soup yummy and great to make at all times. Alright, so if that sounds good, then stay tuned. Oh, by the way, subscribe if you haven't yet, hit the bell button, and comment below on what you think of this video. Alright, let's get into this recipe. Now to begin, we'll just need a few ingredients. I have some vegetable here. As you can see, I have onion, tomatoes, carrot, a couple garlic clove, and some basil. So the first thing we need to start with is our tomato. We want to remove the skin, so I give the top a little scourge. Just make an X on top of the tomato so that when we boil this, we can peel the skin off very easily. Okay, now it's all cut. We put it in this bowl. So there we go. And we add a little bit of water to this. Doesn't need a lot. Just about half of the tomato, and that would be sufficient. Then we bring this to a boil, let it boil for about a minute. Then we can cool it down in some cool water, and we'll just peel the skin off. Alright, let's put this to boil while we prep the rest. Great, so our tomato is boiling right now. We can start cutting our onion. So we want our onion to be diced. So it really doesn't matter whether you get it right perfectly small or not. It doesn't matter. All you need to do is dice this, reduce the size, so that when we're about to cook this, it becomes easier. That's it. So onion is done. Then we'll need a small carrot. Now this carrot will add a little bit more texture and color to this whole dish. So again, just simply dice it. Rough dice will do. Doesn't have to be perfect. This will just simply help it reduce when you're cooking it. Great, so that, and then we have our garlic. I have 3 cloves right here. So we'll just rough dice this. Roughly will do. So that's for our garlic. Then finally, we'll need basil. As you see, I have a couple stalks here, maybe about 3, because I enjoy the flavor. But the first thing we need to do is we'll peel off the leaf. So we will keep the leaf aside. This will be our garnish at the end. Okay, so we'll just peel off the leaf, at least the big part. Okay, and there we go. We have some rough stalks here. Usually people don't use this in their salads or wherever dish they're using it for. They usually just toss this out, but today we will put this to use. When we're boiling our tomato soup, we'll add this in, then we'll fish it out at the end. Okay, so our ingredients are ready. We set this aside so that those are for garnish. And let's check on our tomato. As you can see, it's boiling and the skin is coming right off. So we can just turn off the heat and we'll toss this in some cool water to cool off. So we'll just toss this out and run some cool water through it. Yep, that is all. As you can see, it just peels off nicely. So once you run the cool water through it, the skin will just peel right off. As you can see, for the rest of them, it's the same. And what you're left with is just some simple tomatoes that are skinless. So we just roughly cut this up into smaller chunks to help it dissolve quicker. And there's a center piece, right? I usually like to remove it because it just doesn't add to the smoothness of the soup. So I tend to just cut off the center, but be careful because without the skin, the tomato is very slippery. So careful how you cut this. All right, we just reduce the size, just great. So that's all. So our ingredients are ready, our tomato is cut. Now let's move to cooking. So we just simply move this to our stove. Start by adding some olive oil, then put our onion and carrot. Then once the aroma is released, we can add our garlic after that. The aroma is releasing from the onion. So for this, we just want to turn the heat low. And we want to saute this onion just a little bit to give it some char. This may take a couple minutes. So we want to caramelize this slightly. And that will allow the sugar and the onion to come out and it'll introduce some sweetness to our dish. Great. Our onion is looking nice. It has some char on it. So it's caramelized slightly. Great. Now we can add our garlic to this also. Just stir fry it. Just saute this quickly until you smell the aroma from the garlic. Then you can add the tomato as well. Alright, the garlic is good. Now let's add our tomato. Oops, a piece of basil made it in, but that's okay. Alright, now we can add a couple things to this. So this is chicken broth. We just need half a cup. Then we can add our basil to it as well. Give this a quick stir. Now once this comes to a boil, we want to turn down the heat and cook this for about 30 minutes to 40 minutes. We really want the tomato to soften up and be reduced. In the meantime, we'll add some cracked black pepper. It is so simple. We'll salten this at the end when this is all ready. Now the last thing is add 2 bay leaf. Just push this a little under. We reduce the heat and cover this. So we'll let that sit for about 30 to 40 minutes and then we'll come back and check at it. Alright, let's check on our tomato. Ooh. Yes, it's reduced a lot. The liquid has reduced. It's just a little bit starting to stick at the bottom. This is perfect. So now we can remove it from heat, remove all our ingredients, and then blend this up, and then we'll put it back over the heat again. All right, here we go. Now that tomato is cooked down a lot. Now we simply remove our bay leaf. There we go. Let's grab our plate. Our basil stalk. Okay, so now that's all that needs to be removed, and then we need to add one more item to this, and then we'll blend this up. Whew, a little warm. So I'll add a little bit of butter, and this will help marry the flavor together nicely. Because this is not a lot of tomato, so we'll just add about 1 tablespoon of butter. Let's cut some. Alright, that should do, just like that. We add it in. And that's all. Now we allow that to melt and we just simply blend this up. Okay, so all we need is one of these handheld blenders. If you don't have, any kind of blender will do. You just need to pour this out and then scrape it back into the bowl. So having this is a lot easier. All right, let me plug this in and blend this up. Then we'll put it back over the heat and add a little bit of cream to this, and final tasting. A little salt, a little sugar, whatever you need to get it just right to how you like it. Now just remember, the longer you do this, the smoother the texture will be. What helps also is tilting it to the side to allow it to be able to circulate the sauce, or in this case, the soup. Alright, that's looking very smooth. Now we can stop and set this aside. Smells very nice. Okay, so this is all blended. We'll put it back over the heat, add a little bit of cream, bring it up to simmer, and then we remove it. Then we can taste it and add our salt and whatever we need to get it just right. Okay, let's give it some heat. Alright, it's back to a boil. Good, let's scrape off the sides. Now, let's add a little cream to this. That's looking good. Alright, now let's give this a taste test and see where this stands. Oh, perfect. Just right. I don't even think it needs salt. It's yummy. Nothing else needed to be added. It's perfect the way it is. Great. Okay. Woo. So, like I say, no salt, no sugar, nothing else needed to be added to this. Maybe just at the end, we'll crack a little black pepper over the top to finish it off, because I like that little kick at the back to enhance the flavor of everything. Okay, so I have my bowl here. We're gonna scoop some in our bowl, then we'll garnish it with basil and a little bit of cream. Then it's perfect. Then we'll give it a taste. All right, let's go. Okay. Oh yeah, it's nice and creamy. All right. We got a little bit more. Let's finish the rest. Okay, that's it. Oh, now let's remove this. Now we have some basil right here. Just roll it up tightly, and then we'll give it a fine cut. All right, that's it. It's finely chopped. Now look at this. Go sprinkle it on the top. We have some cream right here. Let's drizzle a little bit of cream over the top. That's it. And some fresh cracked pepper. That's all we need. All right, let's give this a try. All right, where should I start? Let's give this. So creamy and smooth. Let's add some of that basil and cream to this. Wow. And basil added that refreshingness. It comes through like summer. Ooh. It's sweet, it's tangy, it's balanced, not too salty, just right. It has a sweetness once you put it in your mouth, and then it finishes off with a nice tanginess in the back of your throat. just a perfect soup. If you haven't tried something like this, I recommend you quickly go and try this recipe out. So yeah, this is no doubt one of the best soup for the summer. For any time you want something refreshing, this is the perfect soup to have. There are two things that I need to mention to give you a good reason why this soup should be the one that you should be making. First thing is the umami. Umami is the fifth taste other than salt, sweet, bitter, and sour. Then the fifth taste is what you get from MSG. You know, it gives that little kick. Tomato has natural umami in it, and when you cook it down, the umami is released into the soup, and it jumps out at you. It adds that extra touch of flavor that you want to keep eating and eating, and you can't stop. So that umami flavor for tomato soup is just a ton in it. So I recommend that you give this a try. And the next thing is the health benefits. Do you know that tomato, when you're cooking tomato, yes, it reduces the vitamin C a little bit as you cook it for longer, but what you get is lycopene. Lycopene is an antioxidant that is present in tomato. That redness of tomatoes, that red color is where the antioxidant lies. And when you cook it, it releases the lycopene because it's stuck inside fiber, and when you cook this, the fiber gets soft, then everything gets released into the soup. The longer you cook it, the more is released. If you cook it for, let's say, about 10 minutes, 20-30% is released. If you cook it above 30 minutes, you get 150+% of lycopene released in your soup. So this one right now may not have a lot of vitamin C, but it's packed with antioxidants. Very good for cancer, very good for heart problem. It's really good and healthy to have now and then because it gives you that boost of antioxidant that you don't get elsewhere. I mean, antioxidant, everyone knows, is very good for your cells, it's very good for your health. So this is packed with a lot of antioxidant called lycopene. And plus the flavor, the umami that comes through this, it doesn't need anything else. That's why this is so simple. No salt was put in. All I did was cook it down, reduce it, and then add some cream to make it even creamier. So now you know why tomato soup is one of those soup that if you've never tried, you need to give it a taste at it, a go at it, because it's packed with flavor, it's packed with nutrients, it's good for your health, it's good in every way, and it's refreshing on summer days. That's why you see when Italians have pasta and the pasta sauce made fresh like this, it has a lot of antioxidants in that boost. So you want to increase your long life? Well, possibly this is the way to go. Anyways, so this is it for this episode. Tomato soup, freshly made, no cans. I mean, you can use cans, but I prefer to use fresh of everything from scratch. Takes a little longer to cook, but no doubt the taste is undeniably better. All right, so I think that's it for this episode. We will see you on the next one. Comments below on what you think of this. I will work on this soup while you comment and like below. All right, until next time, bye now.